Hey guys, it's the Yankee Down Under here, coming back at you with another Marvel Champions gameplay episode. This time we want to have Scarlet Witch with the protection aspect going up against the Wrecking Crew, which is a very different type of scenario. I know not a lot of people like it. It's okay, just because I like it just because it's different. So anyway, we'll go ahead and go through the deck real quick. Um, as you know, we'll have the three doubles of resources with energy, strength, and genius. One power on all of us. Then for allies, we'll have Clea. She's a 2-cost ally. She's a mystic, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 hit points, and then when she's defeated, you can shuffle her back into the deck. Brother Voodoo, who's a 3-cost ally, 2 thwart, 1 attack. He'll take 2 damage when he thwarts, 1 damage when he attacks, 3 hit points. He's Avenger Mystic. And after Brother Voodoo enters play, you can search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event card and add to your hand and shuffle your deck. Then Heimdall, we'll put him in there just to manipulate the boost icons in the deck as much as we can. With the other allies, Clea and Brother Voodoo, they're both mystics. So those are trigger off a team building exercise, which I have here. Queen Carrier will also trigger him off a team building exercise because I have the Avenger trait, so you get a wild resource. Avengers Match will trigger off of it. We'll do that for card draw. Downtime, just to increase our recovery. Sources of Prey to increase our hand size. Endurance to increase our hit points for survivability. We'll have a copy of Indomitable. That way, whenever we defend, we can discard it to ready a hero back up. We'll get Armored Vest to increase our defense by 1. There's a Steel. We can use this to generate an energy resource for a defense event. So that way, it's just money to use cards for defense events. 2 copies of Spiritual Meditation, just to cycle through our deck. 1 Order of Chaos to get rid of a treachery card. 2 copies of Desperate Defense. That way, we'll get +2 defense, and then if we don't take any damage, we get rid of hero back up. 2 copies of Preemptive Strike. That's interrupt and defense. So when the boost cards turn face up while the villain attacks, we cancel all the boost icons on that card and deal 1 damage to the villain for each boost icon. Cancel that way. And then if we have the crest, we could always increase it by 1 to deal an extra point of damage. And then 2 copies of Sidestep. That'll trigger off of Nerves of Steel, because we'll generate an energy resource. So whenever we use an energy resource, we can deal 1 damage to an enemy, and then also we prevent 3 of that damage whenever we play the card. So that pretty much rounds up that deck here. This is the last gameplay of Wanda week with showcasing each aspect. And then the next one will have a big team up with her and Quicksilver going against somebody. So that will be good because I really don't play two-handed much. So it'll be interesting to finally see the double two-handed in action. I haven't done it with Wasp and Ant-Man yet, but I'm sure I will soon. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's talk about Wanda. She's a 3-cost. She's a mystic. She has a hand size of 6. She has 10 hit points. She has 3 recovery. And she's got the Superpower of Siblings action, to where you could discard 2 cards from your hand to draw 2 cards. And then if Pietro is in play, you can draw 3. And that's limited once per round. These are nice and shuffled up there. Let's go ahead and talk about these villains. So the scenarios break out. We're going to play on standard, so Wrecker A, Thunderbolt A, Power Driver A, Bulldozer A. We don't worry about putting in obligations. We don't have to worry about putting in the standard counter sets. So that's fine. And then the setup, we're going to put a Day of Reckoning, Thunderstruck, Pilot On, and Clear the Road side schemes into play. And then advanced active counter to Wrecker. So Day of Reckoning comes in with 6 threat, which is Wrecker's side scheme. And then this card cannot leave play while Wrecker's in play. And it has a hard hitter or force response. So after threat is placed here, if there is 10 or more threat here, deal 2 damage to each friendly character, and then remove all but 3 threat from this scheme. Wrecker's going to have 2 scheme to attack. When he schemes, we're going to place threat on the side scheme instead of the main scheme, and then when he attacks, he gets +2 attack if the attack is undefended. Thunderstruck comes in with 5. This is Thunderball side scheme, so this card cannot leave play while Thunderball is in play. Gamma Blast, force response. So after threat is placed here, if there is 10 or more threat here, you're going to stun each friendly character and remove all but 3 threat from the scheme. Thunderball comes in with Wrecker also has 14 hit points. Thunderball's going to come in with 13 hit points, a scheme of 3, and attack of 1. When he schemes, you're going to place threat on the side scheme instead of the main scheme. And then he has a force response. After he attacks you, you're going to deal 1 damage to each character you control. Pilot On comes in with 3 threat. This is Pile Driver side scheme, so this card cannot leave play while Pile Driver is in play. And then Pile Driver is a force response, so after threat is placed here, if there's 10 or more threat here, each player discards the upgrade or support they control at the highest cost, and to remove all 3 threat from the scheme. Pile Driver has 11 hit points, has a scheme of 2 and attack of 2. Retaliate 1, and then whenever Pile Driver schemes, you're going to place that threat on his side scheme instead of the main scheme. And then finally we have Clear the Road, which comes in with 4 threats. This is Bulldozer side scheme, and it has Charge, which is a force response. That after threat is placed here, if there's 10 or more threat placed here, each player must discard the top 10 cards of their deck. Remove all but 3 from this scheme. Bulldozer has 12 hit points, a scheme of 1, and attack of 3. Whenever Bulldozer schemes, you're going to place threat on the side scheme instead of the main scheme. And then whenever it attacks, his attack gains overkill. Then we'll have Wrecker coming as the active villain. So everything's all set up. Flip over. Breakout has a threshold of 6 threat, so once you hit 6, the game is over. It comes in with 0 threat. It advances by 1 at the beginning of the villain phase. And after step 1 of the villain phase, place 1 threat on each side scheme, and then move the active counter to the villain whose scheme has the most threat. If there's a tie, then the first player gets to choose. So we'll go ahead and deal our hand, giving us Chaos Magic, Avenger's Mansion, a Hex Bolt, Team Building Exercise, Spiritual Meditation, and a Heimdall. Let's go ahead and pitch Heimdall and Avenger's Mansion. Let's draw 2, giving us a Hex Bolt and downtime. Alright, see, so we mulligan into that. We want to trigger the Superpower Siblings. Nah, let's not. Let's go ahead and play Spiritual Meditation to draw 2 cards in this card 1, giving us Strength and Preemptive Strike. Let's get rid of Cosmic Magic. Let's spend 2. Actually, first of all, let's flip over. So Scarlet Witch has a thwart of 2 and attack of 1 and defense of 2. She's an Avenger Mystic and has Chaos Control, which is the interrupt. So when boost icons are an encounter card, we counted discard the top card of the encounter deck and count the number of boost icons on that card instead. Let's go ahead and spend 2 for a Hex Bolt. So it's a 2-cost event. Discard the top 3 cards in your encounter deck. For each card discarded this way, that the boost has boost icons equal to 0. You're going to deal 2 damage to an enemy. 1, remove 2 threat from the scheme. 2, draw a card, or 3 on a board to place a status card on the character. Now, since we have 4 encounter decks here, it's going to go off of the active villain, which is Record. So we'll go ahead and discard the first one first. It's a 0, so we'll deal 2 damage to an enemy. And yeah, I'm not the one to increase that or decrease it. So we'll do 2 damage to enemy. Let's do 2 Record. Knock them down to 12. Now the second one is a 1, which will remove 2 threat from the scheme. So let's go ahead and knock Day of Reckoning down to 4. And then the third one is a 1. Do I want to remove 2 threat from another scheme and then 2 threat scheme, or do I want to change it and try to get something lower or higher? Now let's go ahead and boost that again. Put that down. Let's get Thunderstruck down to 3. Let's spend let's go another 2. Team building exercise, so it's a 2-cost support. It's a hero action. Exhaust team building exercise to play a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero, reducing his resource cost by 1. And we'll go ahead and work for 2. Day of Reckoning. Bring that down to 2. We'll end our turn. We'll keep Hex Bolt. Then we'll draw into a Magic Shield, a Molecular Decay, Energy, and Warp Reality. So go ahead and match the main scheme by 1. And then 1 threat goes on each side scheme. So that goes to 3. That goes to 4. That goes to 4. And this goes to 5. So move the active counter to the villain who has the scheme has the most threat. So that's a 3. That's a 4. That's a 4. That's a 5. So we're going to go over to Bulldozer. Bulldozer will attack for 3. We'll defend. 0. So he'll do 1 damage because we have a defense of 2. So we'll do 9 damage. And then his encounter card is Get Wrecked. It's a treachery. So reveal a hero, the villain whose side scheme has the least threat, attacks you. That will be Record. So Record will attack for 2. We're not going to defend, so can't defend, so he'll get an extra 2 attack. So he'll do 4, and then we get a boost. So we move the active counter to the villain whose side scheme has the least threat. And if you're in hero form, that villain attacks you after his attack. That attack does not gain a boost card, so we move this back to Record. 4, we're going down to 5. And then he's going to attack again for another 4, but he doesn't get a boost icon, which knocks us down to 1. Ouch! So it's our turn. And let's do this. Let's do 1 for a Magic Shield. Then let's do a 3 for Molecular Decay. It's a 3-cost event. So hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy. And discard the top 2 cards in your counter deck. For each boost icon discarded this way, deal 1 additional damage to that enemy. Let's go ahead and do it on record. So that knocks him down to 7. And then discard the top 2 cards in your counter deck. So the first one is a boost. That's going to count as 0. So we'll do a Chaos Control. 2. Knock it back down to 0. So nothing there. Going to flip over. And end our turn there. Then we'll draw into a sidestep. Indomitable. That's for defense. Power all of us. Preemptive strike. In order in chaos. So that goes to 1. That increases to 4. That increases to 5. That increases to 5. That increases to 6. Go back over to Bulldozer. Bulldozer will scheme for 1. Plus 2. So he'll scheme for 3. So whenever he schemes, you're going to place straight on the side scheme instead of the main scheme. So we scheme for 3, bringing it up to 9. And then the encounter card. His ramming speed is an attachment. It gives him plus 2 attack. And it has a force interrupt. So when Bulldozer attacks you, you must defend with the ally you control with able. And then after he attacks you, you discard this card. So it is our turn. Let's go ahead and trigger Superpower Signals and discard 2 cards. So this card over in Chaos and Power of all of us. Then we draw 2, giving us Nerves of Steel and an Armored Vest. We'll recover for 3. Bring this up to 4. Let's do Nerves of Steel for Armor Vest, so it's an all-in-one cost upgrade, gives us +1 defense. And then let's still kind of weak there, but now let's go ahead and flip her over and in our turn, giving us the magic shield. So villain phase, this will go to 3, this will go to 5, that will go to 6, that'll go to 6, and then this will hit 10. So we hit the force response, so once it hits 10, each player must discard the top 10 cards in their deck and remove all but 3 from this scheme. So that goes back down to 3. Discard the top 10 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That hurts. And then has the most threat. So that's a 5. That's a 6. That's a 6. That's a 3. So let's go ahead and go to Thunderball. He has the less attack. So he'll attack for 1. He won't defend. Attack for 1. 0. So it does 1 damage. And then counter card. So he gets radioactive buildup as a attachment. Gives him 3/3 attack. Attached to Thunderball. Excess damage dealt by Thunderball is placed as threat on his corresponding side scheme. Then after Thunderball attacks, discard his card. So that wasn't too bad. So let's go ahead and do 1 for Magic Shield. Oh, we have 2 of those. 4 for 2. Get that down to 1. And then we'll end our turn. 3. Let's see, we'll sidestep. And a Magic Shield. So this will go to 2. This will go to 6. This will go to 7. 7. And 4. We'll stay with Thunderball because him and Power Driver are tied. So he'll attack for 1. Plus 3 is 4. And then we'll do not defend for 1. Put that to 5. We'll spend one for preemptive strike to prevent 3 damage, so he'll want to do 2. And then we'll take 2 damage, putting this down to 1. And then we deal 1 damage to him. There's no excess threat, so I'll get rid of that. And then counter card, Lightning Blast. Will reveal hero Thunderball attacks you. This attack is undefended. Place 3 throw on Thunderball side scheme. And then he's at 8. And we'll have to defend. And then we'll spend 1 for Desperate Defense. So it's a interrupt. So when your hero defends against an attack, which we are, we get +2 defense. And if we take no damage, we'll ready our hero. So we're doing 4. He has an attack of 1. +2 is 3. So there's no damage there. And then we get to ready our hero up. All right, so we are going to want to have to port for 2. Let's get that down, and then we'll have to flip over in our turn, and we'll draw into Sorcerer Supreme, Spiritual Meditation, Agatha Harkness, Quicksilver, and for the K. Protect ourselves, so we've taken a counter card. Shuffle this up. Alright, so this would advance 1. That goes to 3. That advance 1. That goes to 7. That advance 1. That goes to 6. That advances 1. 4, 5, 6, 7. That goes to 7. This advances 1. This goes to 5. So we got 7, 6, 7, and 5. So it's either going to be Wrecker or Power Driver. He's going to be +2 if we have forward attack if we don't defend. He only gets 2. We'll go to Power Driver. He'll attack for 2. Actually, no, he's going to scheme. So actually, we might want to change this up. So he's at 7. Oh, wait a minute. We're both at 7. They scheme for 2. He schemes for 2. Yeah, we'll keep it as is. So he'll scheme for 2. 1's 3. So that puts him at 10. Which triggers Power Drive. So each player discards the upgraded support they control with the highest cost. So team build exercise is getting discarded. And then our counter card is Escape Convict. He's a 1 scheme, 1 attack minion, 2 health. He gains Surge, so we'll draw another card. Then we get Pummel. So reveal alter ego. Power Driver schemes. If Power Driver is tough, he gets +2 scheme for his activation. He's not tough, so he will scheme for 2 +0. Bring him to 5. Drawing our other kind of card. How about this one? Tactical prowess. When revealed, move all threat from the side scheme with least threat to the side scheme with the most threat. If this scheme's force response ability is not triggered, this card gains Surge. So the least threat. It's a tie between Pylon and Clear the Road. Let's go and Clear the Road to the most, which would be Day of Reckoning. So that's going to trigger. So deal 2 damage to each friendly character. Which knocks us to 0, and that's game. Wow, protection is it's not very good for this scenario, that's for sure. But that's the game. And so hopefully you guys enjoy the content I'm putting out. Let's go ahead and like, subscribe, and of course hit that share button to go ahead and spread the word on this new Rebel Champions channel. Until then, take care. I'll see you later.